This is Dean Cardinale with Worldwide Trekking. I'm live in the British Virgin Islands and going to do a little bit of our winter update, go over some things about the year we've had so far, what we've got coming up over throughout this new year, and also a little bit about our human outreach project. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, then I'm going to show a little bit of a presentation here on our year we've had so far. So Worldwide Trekking has been going since 2006. So really happy to have 18 years of leading adventures around the world for all different kinds of guests and new friends that we make year after year. Our very first trip was here in the Himalayas. This was the very first trip. And we continue to return to the Himalayas, as well as so many other destinations around the world. It's really been a great adventure for us. This time of year, I spend a couple months or trips, depending on what's going on here in the British Virgin Islands. February and March are really good times down here. And I came about 2 weeks ago, and I just finished my first trip. And I've got another group coming in for another trip in a couple days. So I've got a couple days in between. You can see where I am, where X marks the spot down there in the Caribbean. And we are just east of Puerto Rico. So most people fly in through Miami to get here, direct from Miami into Tortola Beach Island, which is the British Virgin Islands. I actually fly through Puerto Rico. Either way works fine, and many people do both options depending on the airline that they choose. So we land out here and we spend a week sailing island to island, doing activities like this. Snorkeling is fantastic here. The reefs are all live. They're also quite shallow, so you don't really need to go scuba. And it works out pretty well to just be able to snorkel, stand-up paddle boarding, kayaking, beach combing, swimming off the boat. It's just a really fantastic week. We do both monohulls, but most people opt for catamaran boat like this. They're beautiful boats, 45 to 50 feet long, and a really nice layout for people inside. They have multiple cabins. Each one has its own ensuite bathroom with a shower and a toilet and a sink in it. It's got a really nice common area in the center, the galley area, and then it's got lounge areas in the front of the boat, in the back of the boat, and on the roof of the boat. So plenty of space for people as we sail around island to island through the Caribbean and through the British Virgin Islands. So we visit Peter Island, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, Tortola, Jost Van Dyke, Norman Island, and others as well, depending on the group and the winds and what we decide to do that week. But the group this week was fun. We had a great time together, some fraternity buddies that got back together, and friends from Oklahoma and elsewhere. And this is our dinner over in Anegada. We're having fresh lobster right on the water, really beautiful anchorages, and a really fun time throughout. This is on Jost Van Dyke. We went over to White Bay for the night. We stayed in Great Harbor for a night and just had a fantastic time. So since the new year, I've been quite busy, and the office has been quite busy. A lot of people signing up for trips this time of year. And my very first trip in the new year was to Kilimanjaro. I'll go over that shortly. And then after that trip, I was able to host our annual Hop Gala up at Snowbird for the Human Outreach Project. We had a really nice turnout there. A lot of good friends from over the years from Snowbird. I've been there for 31 years, and it's just was a really fun night. And the purpose of that evening is to really share what HOP has accomplished over the last year. And we do that by putting together our annual report. You can see it here on the right. And then I present the highlights of it, like in Nepal, where we just opened our second medical clinic in Nepal. The red roofed building is the Farache Medical Clinic. We took down the old rock building. We put up the red roof medical clinic, and the green roof right next to it is their lecture hall, and we cut the ribbon on that. Pool was over. The company had 14 people over there for that, and they were a big sponsor in making that happen for us by financially supporting our efforts there in Nepal. And this is some of the local villagers coming together. We had a nice ribbon cutting ceremony and officially opened the doors. We are entering into the phase 3 of construction, which will be some more interior furnishings and finishing off. But when we did leave, it just looked fantastic, and it was nice to have that opening for the local villagers, trekkers, and climbers through the Khumbu region, and really exciting after a couple years of construction. We also this last year kicked off our Hop Outdoors program again. It had been down for a couple years because of the pandemic, but we had great summer last year. Trent White led that for us with different students from Salt Lake City area going up to Snowbird for the day and doing a tram ride and some hiking and a picnic lunch. And it's just a great program that we run for the summer months, mainly the end of June, July, August, and then the kids go back to school. But it's a really great outing. We do that all throughout the week. And Utah Food Services, North Face, and Snowbird really help us come together on that. And we can have a lot of kids from Salt Lake get up into the mountains and learn about them and enjoy themselves up there. We had our Veterans Outreach Program. As usual, we delivered food supplies the week before Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving, as well as gift cards so they could do some holiday shopping. We serviced over 32 families, larger families, so it really impacts a lot of people, and oftentimes they invite their friends to the holiday dinner. We don't just buy food supplies for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. We also make sure that we're filling pantries. And we do one food delivery with the gift card at Thanksgiving, and then we do a second delivery the week before the Christmas holiday. So whatever they celebrate, they're well supplied for the holidays and for the winter months in their pantries. We also down in Peru host the Chocolatada Festival. That's the way they celebrate Christmas down in Peru. And we have 2 villages down there, Jairipampa and Pashpa Village, that we trek through on climbs and treks. And in Peru, hundreds and hundreds of local villagers that wouldn't celebrate Christmas all have their Chocolatada Festival, which is basically hot chocolate drink and some food coming together as a community, and all the little boys and girls get a gift as well. Over in Tanzania, Africa, I did just get back. I was there for a Kilimanjaro climb. Here's our Kilimanjaro Kids Community Orphanage in Tanzania. And you can see Kilimanjaro there in the background. And this area right here in the middle, that's all fenced in. That's our Kilimanjaro Kids Community. We have 33 amazing children. We just broke ground on a new dormitory that will be being finished up throughout the summer. And then we're looking to increase to about 50 children. Last summer and this summer coming up, we take all of our staff and children and many of our team from over there with their children on a 2-day safari. Has a pool party, has the safari. We spend a night, have a big group dinner, and it's a great way for them to get out and see the national wildlife areas that so many of them don't have the opportunity to do. Last year, we had 125 people join us on safari with about 20 Jeeps. So we're looking forward to doing that again this summer with our kids. our school lunch programs are going great. We have Mbakui and Makiuni School, where we feed over 2,300 children lunch every day at those schools. So it's a really great program. You can see in the upper left the food supplies for a year. That's well into the year. So they've eaten through a lot of the beans and corn that are in those bags. They have those huge kettle cookers, like the mama is stirring up there in the upper right, and then the kids have a nice hot lunch in the midday every day that they're in school. You can learn more about all of our human outreach programs in our annual report. It just came out. If you go to humanoutreachproject.org, click on annual reports, you can see the one that just came out. We're always happy to mail you one if you want a physical copy, but they are all on our website. And as well, you can look back at other years, but the latest one is out there, a lot more information on that. But I had a great group on Kilimanjaro. You know, we climb Kilimanjaro twice a year. There are 2 times a year that Kilimanjaro is very good to climb. That would be the February or January and February season, the short dry season. And again, June, July, August, September is their long dry season. We climb both times a year. And if you go on the website, Worldwide Trekking website, you'll find our dated climbs. If you don't see dates on there that you are interested in, just contact the office. For many of our trips, we can set up dates according to people's schedules. This is our crew on Kilimanjaro getting ready to weigh in and at the entrance gate of the climb. Kilimanjaro is absolutely beautiful. I've climbed Kilimanjaro 100 times, and it's just fantastic. You go through the rainforest, the heat zone, the moorland, the alpine desert, right up to the glaciers, all within a week, 7 days on the mountain, 6 nights. You can see our group here. At the end of the first day, there's a lot of beautiful vegetation and flowering plants. And the reason that it's so interesting is because going through each eco change day after day, your scenery changes, and it really makes it quite interesting. It's really important that we take care of our team on Kilimanjaro and anywhere we travel around the world. It's a big part of why the Human Outreach Project exists. But also with Worldwide Trekking, we want to make sure that we take good care of our local guys, no matter where we are. So we provide uniform, pants, and jackets, make sure that everybody's well equipped to go on the mountain for the week and has good gear, just like we all have good gear. And it also identifies our group, and it helps our guests make sure that they understand who's with them when they need support. We have a large crew on the Kilimanjaro climb I just had. We had over 70 local staff with us. We have guides, cooks, dishwashers, porters, toilet attendants, waiters, a guy that just makes all of our fresh water to drink. So we have a lot of team there that come together to pull off a mountain like Kilimanjaro. This is a picture I took from our last camp coming off the mountain few weeks ago, I guess. And you can see Kilimanjaro, 19,341 feet. Fantastic climb. This is our camp at the Karanga Valley. We're about 13,000 feet here. We have a large dining dome there, the red and white dining dome, a cook tent dome to the left of that. All guest tents there. We're about 13,000 feet looking down into the clouds. A lot of times that cloud layer is there. You can also see Mount Meru out there, the second highest point in Tanzania, the 4th highest mountain in Africa, off to the right there in the distance. My next trip coming up after my sailing trips finish will be in April. We'll be going to do the Utah Mighty 5 national parks. We visit Arches, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, Bryce, and Zion National Parks. It's awesome 9-day trip. And we also, I think one of the things I think is really important to make sure we're traveling comfortable with our groups. We have a 15-passenger van that's got a lift on it. It's got an awning. It's very comfortable to drive in. We bring a support trailer that's 10 feet long that has a full kitchen built out in the back of it with coolers and even a refrigerator and a sink with 25 gallons of water, so we can prepare lunches. Once in a while, I'll do a to-go breakfast to get us on the trail earlier if it's going to be warm out. And then we also do some picnic dinners, which are really fun in the outdoors down there in southern Utah. But every day is different. I think along with all the national parks, we visit slot canyons. Here's one of our picnic dinners in Capitol Reef National Park. We see a lot of Native American rock art from the 5 different civilizations that occupied Utah up to 10,000 years ago. So a lot of it 6,000 years old, 2,000 years old. We're seeing different civilizations that have left their art on the walls down there, different archaeological sites, as well as dinosaur tracks, things like that. So it's a lot more than just the national parks, even more than just hiking. We're seeing and learning about the area, and the West is just a fantastic place in southern Utah to see an amazing history, whether it's natural history or the pioneer history, outlaw history, and some of these civilizations that occupied the area long ago. Then in May, that we'll be heading towards Everest Base Camp. We climb to the Everest Base Camp twice a year in the pre and post monsoon. So in May is a good time. That's when the climbers are up there to climb Mount Everest. And then again in the fall season, which is their post-monsoon, September, October, November. I like October and into November is good. We have good clear weather days then. We trek tea house to tea house along the way. And, you know, these groups are just in for the adventure of a lifetime here. So, you know, we go tea house to tea house. We stay in family-run tea houses, people that I've known for years and years and years. And our guides are amazing, and our local Sherpa guys. And the groups really get to see the Himalayas, go to monasteries, have incredible experiences throughout. But then we make it right up here. You can see Mount Everest up here in the background as we trek up Kilimanjaro and on into base camp. This is a view from our high point of Mount Everest and the base camp down below the Khumbu Ice Fall there. So on this one, we have switched to doing helicopter transfers to start and finish our trip. We had always taken the flights into Lukla on the fixed wing, but those flights now go from an alternate airport that's about 5 hours from Kathmandu. So helicopters assure us getting in and out, and also being able to not have to do that 5-hour transfer. And when we come down from the top, from Everest Base Camp, we come down 2 villages and get picked up in Farishay at 14,000 feet and fly all the way back to Kathmandu. Shaves a couple days off the trek, and it's a really great way that we're doing it now with the helicopters on the flight in, which is about 45 minutes long, and on the way out, which is just a little longer because we're flying from further up the valley. Like I said, I just finished on Kilimanjaro, 19,341 feet, the highest point on the African continent, one of the 7 summits of the world. We'll be going back over here June through the summer and into the fall. We have very comfortable setup on Kilimanjaro, you know, a huge dining dome. This is a group taking breakfast. After the climb, many people do add on safaris. After the trip I just ran, we had people doing a 4-day safari. We had people doing a 6-day safari. We have some people come to Tanzania and just do a safari, a 10-day safari or a 6-day safari. And oftentimes, like on the last group, we had people go to Zanzibar Island in the Indian Ocean for a few days. You can go gorilla tracking in Rwanda. We had a group of people that went gorilla tracking in Rwanda. This is actually one of their photos that they just took. And a lot of amazing options. in Tanzania, East Africa, or with gorilla tracking or Zanzibar Island. And we can do a lot of combinations that are standalone combinations, or we could also do Kilimanjaro with a number of these add-ons at the end, and the office can help get you set up with that. This spring, we also have some groups going to Machu Picchu. We do it a couple different ways. We have a camping trek, and we have a lodge-to-lodge luxury lodge trek. This is Cusco, Peru, and this is the trek through the Andes mountain range, the second highest mountain range in the world. It's a fantastic trek through the Andes. Cusco is a really fun cultural visit as well. We spend some time down in the Sacred Valley. We also have the day in Cusco and then do our trek and finish in Cusco at the end. The lodges are beautiful, and the hotel properties that we use are just fantastic. Here's one of the lodges that we stay at, and they're really nice. They have hot tubs that turn on at night, and they're great standalone areas out there, and our group really enjoys them. Of course, there's the Machu Picchu ruins, and you know, trekking in and getting a guided tour of the archaeological site there, going up to the Sun Gate and hiking around there, spending the day there, and then we'll take the train, the Hiram Bingham dinner train back to Cusco at the end of this 9-day trip. I will also be spending, as usual, a lot of times in the Alps this summer. I don't really ever complain about that. I love my summers over there in the Alps, and my other guides will be on trips, various trips all over as well. Our Matterhorn to the Mont Blanc adventure starts in late June, July, August, into the beginning of September. We run these trips. We spend 2 nights in Zermatt, Switzerland. You can see here's the Matterhorn in the background. 2 nights in Aosta, Italy, 2 nights in Courmayeur, Italy, and 2 nights in Chamonix, France, all hotel-based, lift-assisted. We ride trains and gondolas, cable cars, funiculars to access our hiking starts and finishes. On most of the days, it's a fantastic trip, staying in alpine villages, having really nice dinners at family-run restaurants, and enjoying those villages. People always have a little time to explore the villages after our hikes and before dinner each day. So got a little bit of side music going on here from I'm kind of outside of my hotel room, and somebody just pulled in with a boombox, sounds like. Aosta, Italy is also an awesome place for us to visit while we're over on this adventure. They call it the Rome of the Alps. It has a lot of Roman ruins. It's a whole fortified Roman city. You can see the theater, you can see the entrance and some of the sites there. We spent 2 nights in Aosta, which is really nice. And then we finish in Chamonix, France. Chamonix is the birthplace of alpinism. It's Chamonix. It's incredible. We do a couple hikes out of La Tour and Chamonix, and we go up to the top of the Aiguille de Midi here. This is our high point that we access on the tramway, 12,602 feet, I believe. And then we come down to the mid station, hike across the balcony above Chamonix, and take the train back down to finish our day of hiking and let people go roam around Chamonix. But the Matterhorn to the Mont Blanc is fantastic, as is our trips in Iceland. We'll have multiple trips that we run in Iceland again this summer. July and August is primarily when we go to Iceland for the weather. We explore all kinds of areas. There's great hiking every day. We stay in hotels each evening. We have picnic lunches on the trail and nice dinners at restaurants along the way. But Iceland is spectacular, and we have a great time. We fly into Reykjavik, Iceland, and then we finish in Reykjavik as well. And this year, for a new trip that we're going to be offering, is the Iceland Northern Lights trip. That'll go in the fall and winter season for us up there, and give people the opportunity to see the Northern Lights. So as you know, in in that high area of Iceland, in the summertime, it's light pretty much 24 hours a day. The sun is pretty much up about 23 hours a day, but it's mainly light that whole time. And in the wintertime, it's dark almost all hours of the day and night. So it's a great opportunity to see the Northern Lights, but also do some hiking, some glacier walks, some really fun winter activities. And the Northern Lights, I think, are a checklist for so many people to see in their lifetimes. Then as we hit the fall season, we will be heading back towards the Dolomites, the Italian Dolomites. Absolutely beautiful. Hotel-based trip, lift-assisted hiking, really great restaurants and mountain hut lunches, things like that. They're spectacular. This is a hike picture that I took hiking around Tre Cime de Lavaredo. And we stay in these great villages where people can get out and explore. It's just spectacular there. It's a really great 9-day trip as well. And we arrive Venice, Italy, where we pick up the groups at the Marco Polo airport. We don't actually go right into Venice, but at the airport there, and go up into the Dolomites. And then we finish right outside the airport in Treviso. And then if people want to, they can come in a little early and go to Venice for a couple days and or do something at the end like that. This is Cortina on the left. A lot of really great villages to explore in the evening, and a lot of really great hikes during the day. I think the Dolomites also have this incredible history with the trench warfare from World War I, where Italy invaded Austria-Hungary at the time. And there's a lot of trenches and outdoor museums like this one that I have pictures of set up. And also there's a great history to see throughout and actually explore these trenches that we're actually hiking right up past. But the Dolomites are spectacular and beautiful, as is Machu Picchu, Peru, or the Everest Base Camp, or Iceland, or southern Utah. It's just so difficult to decide, and that's why I think we have so many guests that come back again and again, year after year, to do different trips with us. Then in the fall season, early winter, we'll be heading back down to Patagonia, through Santiago, Chile, and on to Puerto Natales, where we'll be right down there in Patagonia at the tip of South America. Puerto Natales is a great access point into Torres del Paine National Park, where we trek all the valleys of the famous WWTrek. So we don't go from refugio to refugio because they're oftentimes overcrowded and not really our thing. So we trek in each valley, but we put in what we call Patagonia Base Camp. So this is our dining tent with 2 tables in it, a bunch of guests from the big group. And we have these large, oversized tents that people can walk right into. They're over 6 feet tall inside. You could just walk right in. There's 2 cots in there. We provide sleeping bags and cots with pillows, towels. We have 2 bathrooms, one for men and one for women, with multiple toilets, sinks, and hot showers in them for the 3 nights that we spend at Base Camp. But then we are in hotels to begin and end. Of course, we have to end with a Chilean asado barbecue and some horseback riding at an estancia down there. It's a really great adventure down in Patagonia. And one of the new things that we just started a new business called Worldwide Weddings. We're doing exotic special events, and those are weddings. I had the opportunity to marry a couple this fall. You can see us here in Nepal. You can see Mount Everest right up here in the background. And we flew up to this amazing site where we did the wedding ceremony and had a beautiful brunch. And then after that, they flew up and did a big scenic up the Khumbu around Mount Everest. And it made me think that starting a business that focused on weddings would be a good thing. We had done a wedding on Kilimanjaro in the past. I had been asked to do a couple wedding ceremonies at Snowbird over the years, so this was our fourth time. And I thought that worldwide weddings is something that is very easy for us to do, from small groups of two, like in this situation, to 30 people. We can host an incredible wedding at any one of our destinations: southern Utah, Iceland, the Himalayas, safari in Tanzania, or anywhere we go, and customize a beautiful wedding event for small group to a larger size group, and have an incredible wedding ceremony along with a reception, and all of the things that would make in a beautiful, exotic, special event for couples that want to get married in a unique way around the world. So we have our worldwideweddings.com website being worked on right now. That'll be coming out soon. And again, you can see in this photo them getting married and Mount Everest right up there in the background. Spectacular day, incredible helicopter scenic ride afterwards. And they had trekked in for a couple days to get to Namche and then flew up. So they didn't do the full Everest Base Camp trek. We did a abbreviated trip, customized it for them, which again, we can do anywhere around the world, and host a really special wedding event for people that are interested in that. But just like all of our trips at Worldwide Trekking, we are, catering to bring people to a natural environment, have them challenge themselves, have them accomplish something they can go home and feel really proud of. An adventure like this in the British Virgin Islands, sailing island to island like I did, or I'll be doing next week, to bring people to the top of Kilimanjaro, Iceland, or Peru to trek to Machu Picchu. There's so many great opportunities. I like to make sure that I always thank my team, all the guides that work for us around the world, all of the people at Worldwide Trekking that help put it together. Our team is very thorough. They pay attention to details. They make sure that when people signing on have questions, we get them answered. I'm always happy to jump on a Zoom call and talk with people and answer questions, so they know that they can feel comfortable when they show up with Worldwide Trekking, that we're going to be taking care of things as we go. So our planet, we guide it, you trek it. We'd love to see you on an adventure. And I'm going to end the Zoom call, and look forward to hopefully seeing everybody on a fun trip overseas, and letting Worldwide Trekking handle the details. Worldwide Weddings is also an exciting new adventure for us, and we're looking forward to working with both of those as usual in the future. Thanks again for joining me.